Afternoon. Welcome to the St. Tammany Parish Board of Adjustments for August the 5th. We welcome you, and I would like to now ask for a call to order and for roll call.
Mrs. Thomas?
Present.
Mr. Daly?
Present.
Mr. Blosch?
Here.
Mr. Glockner?
Here.
Mrs. Wendell?
Here.
Mr. Sanders?
Here.
Mr. Horn? Madam Chairman, we have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you. I would like to make some housekeeping notes real quick for y'all. I would ask you to please silence your phones if they're not already silenced, and any other electronic devices. If you would like to appeal the decision that this board makes, you are free to do so through the judicial system, through the 22nd courts. There are speaker cards available. If you have something that you would like to say in addition to when the case is presented, you have the opportunity, and we will come and pick up the things, the speaker cards, and you will have an opportunity to speak. Public speaking is 5 minutes per each side, 3 minutes for each additional comment. Once your case has been heard and we have made a ruling on it or voted upon it, we would ask that you leave the building. It just is easier because sometimes noise from the hallway carries through to us, and it is disruptive to the following case. So we welcome you today, and I would ask, has everybody on the board read the meeting minutes from last meeting? If so, is there a motion to accept?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Motion by Mr. Blosch, seconded by Mr. Glockner.
I would ask that you please vote.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, thank you. I would like to introduce first BOA case number 2025-4298, and I would ask for that is a variance. This is a double request, so we will be voting 2 times. The request is for an appeal of the decision of the parish official to allow for the name of a subdivision to be changed without undergoing the active amendment process. Additionally, to allow for a new monument sign to remain at the entrance of the existing subdivision. The zoning of the property is an S1 suburban residential district, and I would ask the staff for their comments.
The subdivision known as Hillcrest Country Club Subdivision Edition Number 3 was formally approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and a plat was recorded with the clerk of court under that name. A group of residents would like to change the name of the subdivision to Oak Meadows Estate. The parish developed an act of amendment process that is here described on the staff report. And as outlined on the attached narrative, it is petition that the subdivision originally named Hillcrest Country Club Subdivision Edition Number 3 be renamed to Oak Meadows Estates. The current request is to maintain the resident-approved name without undergoing the formal act of amendment process, as the majority of the lots within the Hillcrest Country Club Subdivision Edition Number 3 remain undeveloped and consequently unoccupied. As a result, securing signatures from the owners of these lots presents a significant challenge. Staff does not have any objection to the request. Should the board support the appeal of the decision of a parish official to allow the subdivision name change without following the active amendment process, it should be subject to submitting the signed and notarized act of amendment document for review by the parish staff and have it recorded with the clerk of court. Should the board not support the request to appeal the decision of a parish official to change the subdivision name without following the act of amendment process, the applicant shall be required to retain the subdivision name as recorded on the official plat as Hillcrest Country Club Edition Number 3. As depicted on the attached pictures, the after-the-fact request seeks approval to maintain the 40-square-foot monument sign in its current location and dimension at the entrance of the subdivision. Should the board be in favor of the request to allow for the monument sign to remain at the entrance of the subdivision, it should be subject to submitting a sign permit application for the monument sign as shown on the attached drawing. Should the board not be in favor of the request to allow the monument sign to remain at the entrance of the subdivision, it should be subject to a sign permit application for a monument sign that complies with all St. Tammany Parish regulations.
Thank you. I would like to ask who is representing this particular case. Would you please step forward, state your name and address?
Hi, my name is Darlene Nelson, 27454 Sneed Drive, Abita Springs, Louisiana.
Are you going to address the first part of this, and that is the, I'm sorry, but the appeal of the decision of the parish to allow the name of the subdivision change? Is that what you're going to
Yes, ma'am.
address? Thank you.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Darlene Nelson. I represent residents in our neighborhood who voted on and approved of the sign at the front entrance of our subdivision. In February of 2020, 5.5 years ago, the owner of the Abita Springs Golf Course, Mr. Chris Eddy, closed down the golf course. He tried to develop an RV park on the golf course, but because of the neighbors and the assistance of our councilwoman, Mrs. Cheryl Tanner, he was unsuccessful. Over the past few years, the property went through a couple of leases to try and open the golf course back up. Presently, the driving range is the only part of the course that is opened. Mr. Marcus Clavier is the current leasee of the property. He has opened the driving range and renovated the clubhouse to an event center named Oak Meadows Recreation and Retreat Center. Mr. Clavier couldn't be here today, but wanted me to convey to you that should he open the golf course in the future, it will be named Oak Meadows Golf Course. We do not have an HOA, so in order to keep up with our front entrance, we collect money from the neighbors for plants, pine straw, holiday decorations, etc. We also have volunteers who cut the grass and keep the gardens up. Last year, we noticed the sign at the front entrance was deteriorating and starting to fall apart. We raised money from neighbors to get a new sign constructed. Our neighbor, Mr. Brent Landry, who's here today, is a master woodworker, so he, with the help of a few others, volunteered to make the sign. As you can see in the pictures, it is a beautiful sign made of cypress wood and steel lettering. We have a neighborhood Facebook group page with approximately 93 members, which I started a few years ago. We decided to ask the members of the group their opinions on what the name of the new sign should be. Since we no longer have a golf course, why would we build a new sign that said Abita Springs Golf Course, which was the name of the previous sign? And I'd like to note that that sign was up for over 27 years. The majority decided on Oak Meadows Estates to keep in line with the name of the Recreation and Retreat Center. It is important to let you know that the existing foundation, a concrete base with 2 rebars on either side, was used to mount the new sign. We are not seeking to legally rename the subdivision. We simply want our front entrance to be welcoming to our present neighbors and attract new neighbors. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any objections and/or comments that you would like to make?
I wanted to make comments for after.
Come forward, please state your name.
My name is Matthew Carter. I live at 27052 Sneed Drive, right as you enter the subdivision. My family's been there since '92. We moved in when they first auctioned off the first 4 houses. Shortly after that, in the early '90s, the name of the golf course changed. That brick portion or the concrete portion said Hillcrest Country Club Estates. That was filled in the '90s. So there is nothing that this subdivision would have in any way, shape, or form been referred to as Hillcrest Country Club Estates since the early 90s. And at that time, there was no change to deeds or anything like that. This process didn't take place. And if I'm not mistaken, it happened twice. First time it changed to Hillcrest Country, or Abita Springs Golf and Country Club. And then later on, when the country club aspect of it went away, it was just Abita Springs Golf Club. So that's my argument would be, if it happened twice in the past and there's been no form of Hillcrest Country Club Estates in this particular area of the subdivision, you know, it really, I don't see how it would be an issue or why it should be an issue. No, that's all I have to say. So,
Thank you, sir. All right. Seeing that there's no objection to this, I'm going to address the first variance request, and that is an appeal to the decision of the parish official to allow for the name of the subdivision to be changed without undergoing the active amendment process. I will open the board to questions, please.
Yeah, I have a question, because as I'm reading through that, the notes on this, the requirement by the parish is that 51% or greater residents be in favor of this. Just knowing my own knowledge of that area and what's going on out there, I don't know that that would be, well, let's just put it this way, it might take years for that to be accomplished.
Agreed.
Just because of the number of lots that are attached to that, the openness of it. There's several lots that have not even been constructed on. It's just, I think it would be a Herculean lift that we really shouldn't put these folks through. And as I understand from the lady, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, but you mentioned that was not your intent to actually change legally change the subdivision. Okay, and just as my own knowledge in business, what I do, I represent a lot of business owners, small and large, and some medium-sized owners. A lot of them have their DBAs, they're doing business as.
Right.
Also doing a little bit more research behind the scenes on this. This is not an uncommon practice for developments. This is something that is common. Now, I'm talking with our legal staff, she said this is kind of more of a parish requirement or an ordinance that we've adhered to. So my own opinion of this is I don't know that this is going to hinder or hurt anything out there. I think if anything, it might improve the development and kind of maybe freshen it up a little bit. So,
And it seems to be more cohesive in keeping with what the people of subdivision require.
right.
Are there any other comments? I'm sorry. Mr. Daly.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm going to follow up. I mean, I was in an active HOA, and we couldn't get 51% to do anything. But, just sticking with the process, this is an advertised meeting. There is a process here around this naming that is sort of, in support of that. So I feel like, in a way, not that we're fully covering the spirit of the 51% is there in terms of having a public process of renaming. So, I just view it in terms of a process. I don't really have strong feelings either way. So, yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Glockner.
Yes. Ma'am, you said you had 93 members on your Facebook page. Could you come up, please? A couple questions for you.
Yes.
And do you know the number of neighbors that you have that's living in that area?
Whew, gosh. In the whole 30, 35? Yeah. More vacant lots than homes.
So some of the 93 members that voted on this through your Facebook page was just lot owners also?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then another question that said you said you're not trying to legally change the name of the subdivision, and then is that correct?
Correct.
So you you said you had the recreational center that's there now,
Yes.
the driving range, and that's the name of their
Correct.
business basically,
Yes.
right? So
Right.
I have no problem with this. It was just my only other concern was if you're legally changing it without going through the process. I guess this is more for staff. How would that affect the 911 situation? That's what my concern would be for you guys.
Yeah.
If you have an emergency and you'd call 911 and you'd give the Oak Mill Estate thing. And I know
How would that work? We have a firefighter here and a police officer. I'll let Matt Carter address.
I think I can help address that. So I was actually a firefighter. We have another firefighter in the area, but I was a firefighter in that local area. Whenever 911 comes out, it goes off of addresses, but usually whenever we get subdivisions, you know, someone will call up and say, hey, I'm at this address, it's going to be in the Oak Meadows subdivision. Well, they roll up, they see a big sign that says Oak Meadows.
Okay.
There is a difference between like our section, because Hillcrest Country Club Estates goes all the way down to Hillcrest Boulevard and past.
Okay.
Okay.
We kind of want to be separated from that, because if you drive around that particular area of the neighborhood as opposed to the area about where the golf course is, completely different. Like you would think they're completely different neighborhoods. And but someone over there would say, I'm off of Hillcrest Boulevard or whatever. But if, say, we call 911, 911 responses go off of addresses, and then if there's subdivisions, it's usually the person who calls and says, hey, I'm in this subdivision. It's not actually, you know, labeled in the CAD system where they don't say anything like that.
All right, well, appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's
Great
all.
explanation.
Right. That's the only concerns I had, and, you know, looking at that older sign with the newer sign being in conjunction with the business they have there now, I don't see any issue with it. Thank you.
All right. We need to ask a question. Helen?
Yes, so here present, we have Theodore Reynolds. He's the Assistant Director of the Department of Engineering, which he is a lot more familiar with the procedure of how to change the name of a subdivision. And, you know, Mrs. Nelson, when she came to the podium, what she explained is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that they would like to change the name of the subdivision on the sign. However, they're not interested in changing the name of the subdivision on the plat. And maybe, I guess I was not under that same understanding when we took in the application form, and maybe we can ask more questions, or maybe we can discuss the difference between the two as to having the name of a subdivision on the basically the sign itself versus changing it and how it affects the two.
That's an interesting one.
And you have 2 minutes.
So I guess let's start off, maybe if I can ask a question to the applicants as to what is the desire to just change the sign name or the entrance sign name? And if y'all said this, and I apologize, I was in another meeting, couple of this meeting, as to not wanting to change it on the plat, is there justification behind that? And again, I apologize for being late.
I'm Darlene Nelson.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, the reason we don't want to do it legally to change the plats, because it costs a lot of money. We don't have an HOA. Everything we do there, we're asking neighbors to help, volunteer, your time, money. So that would cost a lot of money to get it done legally. So all we want to do is put a nice sign in the front entrance.
Okay. The main point of me asking is because there are still undeveloped, unconstructed lots out there, so we will be still having cash sales, active sales that are all going to be referencing the legally platted on the recorded plat subdivision name. So the thing that, and it's nothing that maybe, it's probably more something that we could do and get with 911 addressing, is to make sure, and I heard there's a state trooper here talking about how they respond, and kind of walked in on the end of that, but that would be our primary concern, is just making sure that it's going to always be sold, and that's how it's going to be referred to. And any records of ours, voluntary developmental agreements, sales of property in there, your tax assessment roll is all going to be referencing the recorded plat name, nothing on that new subdivision name, because legally and formally it is as recorded on the plat. That's why it's a cleaner process to get it changed via the active amendment on the plat. That way, moving forward, when they reference that plat, it would coincide with what's on your subdivision sign and what's going to be forward on all your cash sales. But it sounds like, and I'm going to assume this is the majority of the active inactive HOA, there might not be an issue with the process. I just want to make sure that 911 addressing, which is our 911 office that gets you guys out to emergency calls and responses, doesn't have an objection to it. Typically, when we do subdivision name changes, it is actually done before a plat is ever recorded. It is very atypical. I think I've had 2 since my time here where we've had a plat be recorded, lots be sold and constructed and lived upon, and then someone wants to come change the name. So there is really not a super well-defined process for after it's been recorded, after people have used and lived there for 20, 30, 40 years. But that would be my primary concern, is making sure that 911 is okay with it, that they can still get these emergency responses, calls, and mail delivery to the appropriate addresses, and maybe something from the HOA that understands legally, and in the parish's eyes, you guys are still referred to as the recorded plat subdivision name. What you have on your sign is your preference, and so those would be the two things I think would be pertinent to just verify before we finalize it. But I think it might be, I won't tell you guys what to do on your board, but it may be pertinent to say approved subject to those two things being verified.
Okay, thank you.
I think I went over 2 minutes, I'm sorry.
It's perfectly all right. Mr. Glockner, you had a final comment?
Yes, those were some of my concerns too. I'm sorry. Yes, those were some of my concerns also. With that being explained, I really like the sign, the Oak Meadows, but I think I would have to request the estates to be removed on the bottom and the sign remain with just Oak Meadows, since you have the.
We're addressing the
facility.
first one, yes,
Okay.
not the sign yet.
So how will we address that now, since they don't want to do it
We're
legally?
going to vote on the first part to appeal the decision and allow them to undergo the name change.
Well, they don't want to.
And then we're going to vote on that, and then we'll vote on the second part.
Madam Chair, would it be appropriate just to entertain a request to withdraw that appeal, since it's not their intent to begin with?
I'm going to ask legal for that.
Do they want, if they want to withdraw it, that's fine.
Right, I just think that,
Or somebody could make a motion addressing the sign first, and we could vote on that first. It doesn't have to be in that specific.
Well, I think that,
We've discussed-
Mr. Reynolds, brought up some good points that maybe if you vote to uphold the decision of a parish official, it should be subject to what was suggested here.
Yes, that would cancel it out.
Yeah.
Either way, that way, or just.
well, that would be not a,
Yeah.
You can either reverse
I-
it, or you can modify it.
I think it's better to
Decision.
withdraw, just because we're not overruling a parish official in that situation. Yeah. I mean,
But, yeah, but then
it'd have to originate out there in the audience, right?
whoever the applicant was per se for this.
Who is it?
Who is the applicant? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Okay, what we're discussing here is rather than have us actually vote to overturn the appeal or to hear the appeal again, since it was never really your intent to have that appeal addressed, we feel like it'd be more appropriate for you just if you were interested in withdrawing the request for an appeal.
Right.
And then we could look at the second item, which is the actual sign.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, so that would be your formal request?
That would be it, yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Since we don't have any intent on legally changing it.
All right, so
We need to vote on that, I
I
guess?
think,
Yes.
yeah, we'll have to vote.
No, you don't.
No,
We
no,
don't have to
She's
vote on
withdrawing
that.
the appeal.
If you are withdrawing the appeal, I would ask that you state that you are withdrawing the appeal at this time, and that the Board of Adjustments will not vote on that particular decision.
Yes, we are withdrawing the appeal.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
I did have one other, just if you don't mind, while we're discussing that next portion as far as the sign is concerned.
We
And
need to
then-
vote, I think.
No,
No, we
no,
don't need to
no.
vote since she withdrew. Okay, we're good.
So,
So
do
let's
we need to go
move
through the
on.
process and go,
Yeah,
okay.
let's move
I'm
on
sorry.
to
Okay.
allowing for a new monument sign to remain at the entrance. We have the information on that. Is there any other comment on your monument sign?
No? Anybody else?
Okay, then with that in mind, I would ask Mr. Blosh.
Okay. There was discussion about whether or not there would be confusion with the sign, and I'm looking at the Abita Springs Golf Club sign that was out there for many, many years, and I don't know that it represented any sort of confusion for that to begin with. Number two, as I said before, I'll just kind of restate it, it's not uncommon for developments to do or have a name that is not the exact name of the legal entity that developed it, the property. So I, quite frankly, don't have any issue with the estates being on there. I mean, I don't know, Mr. Glockner might, but it doesn't represent any kind of confusion for me. If anything, like I said before, I'm just reiterating, I think that that what it does is it brings new life to the neighborhood. And I know that's what you're probably, intending to do. I know that there's potential for that to grow and
Yes.
come to its maximum potential, which I don't think it ever realized. So to me, I love the fresh start, the
I do
fresh
too.
idea of it. So.
Yeah, and the new highway they just completed, that goes from Bogalusa to Highway 36, they're anticipating a lot of boom back there, a lot of growth in our areas.
And I think the new monument certainly is representative of somewhere I would go in and take a look at a lot. That would that would draw me in more
Yeah.
than an older. And estate says to me that it's a plethora of buildable lots, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my comment. However, Mr. Glockner, did you have a question concerning that? You had mentioned that you were concerned about the estates being on there.
Yeah, yeah. My concern about is stating estates, which is stating that it's like a legal name change, which he was just referring to earlier. So that's why I would be more concerned about it being estates on there and just take the estates off. Do you have any issues with that?
Majority.
I would. I mean, I would.
Oh, well, the guys who built the sign said if we remove estates, it's going to damage the sign.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Blanche.
Sorry, and this is a question I did forget to ask of staff. Is there any, well, I know there must be some sort of sign permitting fee and inspection that needs to be completed, right? So I would ask that, I guess that any motion to approve would include that. Is that correct? Is that necessary?
That's correct. According to my staff
According
report,
to the
it would be
staff report.
subject to applying for a building permit for that sign if
Okay.
that's, yeah.
All right.
All
Mr.
right.
Daly, did you have a?
Yeah, I had sort of a question referring to the estates thing. Is this would be the main entrance to the event space? Or is it
No,
sort of more of a
it's-
secondary?
It's the main entrance to the subdivision on Sneed Drive. That's the main street. And all the way at the end of Sneed Drive, well, it goes into another street, Oliver. And that's where the event center is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's sort of the counterpoint argument to the estates is that, if that becomes the name of the event center, that people would turn here because there's a sign that says Oak Meadows. And they'd be like, so it's to distinguish the houses versus the event space. Just how I'd say. So.
Well, as I said earlier, the guy who's leasing it right now, Mr. Marcus Clavier, he opened the driving range, so that's a public driving range that's very viable right now. But he did tell me this morning he wanted to come, but he couldn't. He's a broker, so he had real estate closings to do. But he said to, let you know that should in the future he's able to open at least the front 9 holes, that it will be named Oak Meadows Golf Course. So, I mean, we can modify the sign at that time to add golf course if need be. But because I don't think the gentleman was here when I said earlier that because the golf course was closed down 5.5 years ago and the sign was deteriorating and we wanted to build a new sign, why would we build one saying Abita Springs Golf Course when we had no golf course anymore? So that's why we chose that.
Okay. All right, from the board, are there any further questions? Yes, Mr. Swindell, I apologize.
Yeah, I would just I think we're overcomplicating this. I think,
I do
mean, if
too.
you look at the satellite view, there's, I think 30 homes is probably accurate. And if most of you want to change what it says at the street, then so be it. I mean, I think it's fine. So I'm with Mr. Blush.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 93 people living there and all of them want to change it, it seems pretty. All right. Are there any other comments from the board? Do I have a motion from the board? Mr. Blush?
Madam Chairman, in regards to case.
Can you turn on your mic or request to speak? Go ahead.
Got it? Okay. Madam Chairman, regarding case 4298, I requested I'd offer a motion that the allowance of a new monument sign remain at the entrance as an after-the-fact request, that all requirements of the parish for signage be met as part of this motion. And I think that's all I need to say.
So
at this
it
point.
should be subject to applying for a building permit for the current sign.
There we go.
So- Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And there are no penalties associated with this or that?
Well, it was posted by code enforcement, so it will have a double fee on a building
Okay.
permit. Yeah.
All right, sorry. Okay, and that's my motion.
All right, do I have a second on that motion?
Second by Mr. Swindell.
Mr. Swindell. All right. With that being said, I would ask the board to vote, please.
All in favor, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the staff for their efforts in this and clarifying. And thank you to the gentleman who clarified 911. It actually made me feel better. Okay. Where's my second one? All right, the board will now address BOA 2025-4302. The variance is a request by an applicant for an after-the-fact variance to reduce the required side yard setback for a driveway from 5 feet to 3 feet. It is a PUD planned unit development overlay. I would ask that the parish please read their findings.
The objective of the request is to allow for a portion of the driveway of the concrete paving to remain within 5 feet of the property line or at 3 feet from the property line. The requested variance is a personal preference rather than a property hardship. Should the board be in favor of the request, it should be subject to the following, which would be to provide a sealed drainage plan and also provide an as-built drainage plan. Should the board not be in favor of the request, it should be subject to the following, which would be to remove the concrete to meet the 5-foot setback.
Thank you. Will the person representing this case please step forward and state your name?
Good afternoon. I'm Ron Lee. I'm the home builder. And of course, as you just stated, we're requesting a variance to, it's actually 2 feet, it's 2 feet from the property line. So it's a 3-foot variance. So anyway, we're requesting the variance in order to give the homeowner better turning radius to access the garage. It's currently 20 feet 6 inches. Cutting the 3 feet out of there would be then 17.6, which would be really tough to make that turn into the garage. Generally what happens when you cut it back to that level, then the homeowner would start to use the lawn on the outside of the concrete to make that turn, and therefore it's going to turn into a muddy mess generally, and unattractive rutting and that kind of thing. So the subdivision restrictions say that we can go to 1 foot away, and the ordinance that is requiring the 5-foot setback is under culverts, and this was caught by the drainage inspection. So drainage is the issue there. We obtained a report from Kelly McHugh supporting the position that there's plenty of room for drainage in that particular location. The adjacent lot, the home is not built, but the driveway is required to be on the opposite side of the lot away from this driveway. Beatico Creek requires it to be in a particular location, and they've designated it opposite of this driveway. So there won't be any extra pressure there put on the driveway next door. That report from Kelly McHugh is attached. And as far as setting a precedence, this ordinance has just recently been enforced. I don't really know when it happened. That's ignorance on my part, I suppose, that I didn't know exactly when it happened. But anyway, we've built many homes in Beatico Creek, and quite a few of those have had the driveway in that setback. I included some pictures close by of other homes that were built with the driveway in that setback, one of which is 3 doors down, 3 lots down, that we built about 4 years ago. Similar size lot, similar type of floor plan, and that kind of thing. So we're requesting the ordinance in order to be able to leave that there. We know that we have those items that were laid out that we have to provide. I think Kelly McHugh's original numbers, et cetera, that are there is part A of that, and we have to get the variance and then also have to provide an as-built in addition to that, if y'all agree with this.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here that objects to this? Seeing none, I would ask for comments from the board, please. Mr. Swindell.
I'll just say that I appreciate the work that you did with the engineer to get that, that's the intent of that area, is really just all about drainage. So I think having an engineer say that what exists is adequate is good. Unfortunately, you're after the fact here, so you're suffering double for that, but I'll vote to support it. I think it makes sense in a current format.
I guess I just have one question, and that is, when you're building these homes, do you not take into account regular sized cars that would go into a garage, and that there would be an issue with the size of the driveway going into the garage?
Yes. So not to get real long-winded about it, but the idea is that I didn't know about it. We do our design in-house, so I'm kind of it's on me. And when we applied for a permit, then it was rejected at that point, and they told us to move it back to the 5-foot mark.
Okay.
So it would have been my intention to design it differently. The homeowner fell in love with the plan, I guess is the way you put it, and they didn't want to change. So they're aware, the purchaser is aware of what's going on, and I am, I guess, representing them also in request that they're able to leave the driveway there.
All right, thank you. Any other comments from the board? Mr. Blosh?
Yes, ma'am. And I think most of the commissioners here will recall that we've granted a bunch of these. I think that we encourage a side load garage versus and Mr. Dale, you're a planner, so you could probably agree with this.
I don't know if I agree with that.
And I'm speaking for him, but I know that basically the consensus upon planning is it's preferable to have a side load versus a front load garage, just from an aesthetics viewpoint. So I have no issue with it either. I'm in concurrence with Mr. Swindell. So,
Mr. Daly?
I think I'm in trouble because I have a front-loading garage. But
oh boy,
it seems like the Beatico Creek subdivision rules around that 1 foot setback of driveways is basically married to the feature, which is that the driveways are only supposed to be on one side of the house. So there's an intent that there's open space next to it. It's going to be on the adjacent property. But it seems like that was done, in marriage. So, I mean, just holistically looking at that, where there's inconsistency with the parish regulations, that at least there's thought on the subdivision level to deal with drainage. So I'm pretty much okay with that too.
Sorry. All right. Any further comments? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion.
We have one by Swindell.
Oh, Mr. Swindell, you made the motion? No. Mr. Swindell, sorry.
he just said his intent, but yeah.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. Were you going to make a motion? Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I'll make a motion to approve the variance as requested.
would be subject to the 2 items listed, which is to, excuse me, I'm gonna look at my notes here, to provide the sealed drainage plan, and also to provide the as-built drainage plan.
Yes.
All right. So would you restate that just for clarification?
Sure, I'll
please?
make a motion to approve the variance as requested, considering the 2 additions by Helen there about providing a drainage plan that's sealed by a civil engineer and the as-built drainage plan.
All right, do I hear a second?
We have a second from Mr. Daly.
Mr. Daly. All right, I would ask that you please vote.
All in favor, motion carries.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, the next case is old business. All right, do we have any old business? I believe we clarified last time that we have an answer for our mobile home issue.
It's been approved.
It's been approved, so we're...
Lightning speed, man.
Yes, indeed. What was that, 8 months? But it's been approved. That's a good thing. All right. Do we have any new business other than congratulating the chair for getting this meeting over before 3 o'clock and the parish for such succinct guidance in doing our, I mean, every month we're getting fewer and fewer variances, which I think speaks highly of
Get
not
ready
only the
for
parish,
September.
but the board as well.
Get ready for September.
Get ready for... With that being said...
That's been on vacation.
All right. I hope that you've all enjoyed your vacations. Ms. Lambert, when is our meeting in September?
It is, let me double check to make sure I look at my calendar correctly. Oops. That's correct, September 2nd. Yes, which is the day after Labor Day.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to push it back a week because of Labor Day or if we were going to stick with it. All right. Is everybody going to be here as far as you know? No Labor Day voyages or cruises like one Mr. Glockner just came off of a wonderful vacation. Okay. Well, then, Helen, how many do we have so far in September?
If I'm not mistaken, we have 4.
4. Oh, we can handle that in an hour. All right. With that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn? All right. Mr. Glockner moves to adjourn.
Mr. Glockner, and we need a second to adjourn.
And Mr.
Mr.
Blosh can't
Blosh.
wait to get out of here. Second. All right. Thank you all for your attendance. The meeting is adjourned.